What's going on, guys? Cody with Ditch Pandas Bass Fishing. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. Today we're going to be talking about our favorite time of the year. It should be every bass fisherman's favorite time of the year. It's fall, the fall feed. They're feeding on bait fish. Let's do it. Fall for bass fishermen is like the holy time. It is, in my opinion, the best time to fish. It's the best time to be a bass fisherman all year round. The bass are super keyed in on bait fish, and you can exploit that to the fullest. That's really what I want to talk about today, is making sure that you guys are using baits that are mimicking bait fish for the fall, because that's what these fish are keyed in on. Now, we're going to be talking about a few of our favorites that are always on the deck from late September till mid-November, late November, depending on where you're at in the country. These baits are going to be on the deck because they just get bit during the fall, all year round actually, but the fall especially. First thing I want to talk about, something that isn't real popular, but it should be, especially this time of the year. And that's a Wakebait. This is a THKO Wakebait. You can get him at THKO Warehouse. You can get him straight from his website. He's a real cool guy. He also does reel cleanings, and he replaces bearings with Boca bearings for you guys. These are all hand painted by him. I forget his name. He's a cool cat though. He makes these THKO. Great wake baits. They dive about a foot, somewhere in there, maybe a little less, depending on what line you're running on them. But in the fall, guys, these kill it. Early in the morning, you know, till about the sun's up. If you got fog, I'll throw them even longer than that. They got a great sound. You know, there's a big BB in there, and there's a couple small ones, so you really get some attracted. Big old skirt flares up really well. I mean, in shallow water, around cover, around rocks, around laydowns, basically any cover the bass is going to get into, you throw this thing around, over, under it if you can. These things get bit. They give a pretty big profile, and you will catch some pretty big bass on these. This is a go-to fall bait for us. Next I want to talk about, this is a very popular fall bait, and really for us throughout the year, it's one of my favorite baits to fish, and that's the lipless crankbait. This is a Strike King Red Eye Shad. This is a Tungsten 2-tap. I love this bait. I love lipless crankbaits in general. I know the Sixth Sense, they've got a great one. The Bill Lewis Rattle Trap obviously is great, even down to the Cotton Cordell. There's not really a bad one. I'm sure there is, but all that I've thrown are all pretty good, and they'll all catch fish. But during the fall, these things excel. And for some reason, you know, throughout the year, I throw this thing. I'll yo-yo it in the winter. I'll fish it fast. Come the springtime, I'll fish it through cover in the summer and in the fall. But I just feel like in the fall, those big girls love to bite lipless crankbaits. I don't know what it is. I'm not sure if they're annoyed by it. I'm not sure if it makes so much commotion that a lot of the fish are seeing it, and the big ones say, no, that's my meal, and they go for it. But lipless crankbaits get hammered in the fall, and they get hammered by big fish, bigger fish than you're going to see hit these the rest of the year most of the time. Another go-to, gotta have it on the deck during fall. Next one, again, we are focusing on bait fish because that's what the bass are focusing on, so that's what we should be focusing on. Spinnerbait. This is another one that's on the deck most of the year besides winter. I'll have one of these because I have confidence in it. This is River to Sea Bling. You guys know that's basically all we throw now. I just make sure that If the water's a little stained, I'll go to the gold blades. If they're not, I'll keep these silvers. I'll make sure I'm matching the skirt with whatever there is. This is bluegill. A lot of the time I'm either throwing bluegill or I'm throwing that abalone shad color, which is white and kind of an opaque clear color. There's not a whole lot you can do wrong with these in the fall. I mean, you can let them helicopter. These blings don't helicopter though, they fall. We talked about it, if you guys have seen it, they fall, the blades spin all the way down. You can do that and work it like a jig almost, kind of yo-yoing it, bringing it up, letting it fall. You can reel it fast as you can until this thing starts to turn over. You can slow roll it. This around wood in the fall is almost kind of like that lipless. Like, there's not a lot of things that are better, in my opinion. Another go-to staple on the deck of the boat all fall. Let's move on. Squarebill. Squarebill is something that you don't hear a lot about it in the fall. You hear a lot about it in the summer. You hear a lot about it in the springtime. But the fall is no different. I think when the water starts cooling down, people start to not want that erratic action, you know, that a squarebill throws off. But especially in the beginning of the fall, like during the fall transition, you know, through October and through most November, and depending on where you're in the country, again, probably even into December, you know, in the south, squarebills get it done, man. I think, and I will keep, what I'll do with my squarebills that are on the deck is, as we come out of summer and the water's still warm, I'll keep the ones that have that real erratic action, like the Sixth Sense movement, I think is what it's called. And then, you know, some of the more bulbous ones, the KVDs, and then I'll start to slim down. This is the Sixth Sense, I believe this is the Crush. And then as it gets even farther down, you know, that Ott's Garage balsa one that Paul likes so much. As the water starts to get cooler and cooler, slim down to, you know, a more slimline squarebill, a little tighter, and they get bit. It's awesome. Don't take them off your boat just because the water's starting to cool down, guys. It's fishing the same way. Hit them against rocks, hit them against timber, hit them against, you know, jetties or riprap, whatever you can. Hit that thing against stuff, it's still going to get bit. It's going to get bit a lot just because it's a bait fish. That's what they want. Now, two things I don't have here, but we're going to talk about them. One is the Fluke. And as you've seen recently, we've put out videos right at the fall transition. The Fluke is tearing up fish. I mean, we have fish at our lakes that are just hammering balls of bait. I mean, they're coming out. If you guys have paid attention to our other YouTube channel, Ditch Pandas Shorts, and on our normal channel also, we have videos. I mean, fish just breaching everywhere on bait fish run under the surface. And when you find that, a lot of times it's really hard to get those fish to bite because they're so keyed in on certain fish. A lot of times it's certain size fish, and sometimes you'll find they're really, really small. And you almost think, like, man, do I have to go to a crappie crankbait to catch these fish? Yes, sometimes, but a Fluke does the trick, guys. You could throw that donkey rig with a double Fluke rig, and they start going like this. I mean, it just looks exactly like bait fish running from bass in the water, and it gets hammered. And you can throw it in deeper water, you can throw it up shallow, but really around those schooling fish is where that excels. Paul loves doing it. I'm not a huge thrower of the Fluke. I enjoy it. I like the idea of it. I like watching him do it. It's not really my style. Even if it's getting bit, I will go to it, but it's not exactly my style of fishing. But that's on me. You shouldn't be a style. You should just be what's catching fish should be your style. I need to get over that. But the Fluke gets hammered. I know. I've seen it. You guys have seen it if you watch the channel. Throw them. Now, the last but not least, the Alabama rig, the A rig, the umbrella rig, whatever you want to call it, the cheating rig. Don't have one here. We'll put up a picture right here. Most of you guys know what it is. You know, you got swim baits tied on this big piece of wire. You got 5 swim baits. 3 of them got hooks. Maybe 2 of them got hooks. Maybe 1 of them got hooks. Maybe all of them have hooks. Depends on your regulations in your state. Make sure you look before you buy them and before you set it all up. Those also get crushed for the same reason that the rest of these are getting hammered in the fall. It looks exactly like bait fish, except this looks like a ball of bait fish, which is exactly what bass want this time of the year. So if you don't have them, I know they're expensive. And I know it's kind of like throwing a big swim bait, you know, you kind of hucking this thing out there and just hoping you don't break your line or hoping you don't get snagged and lose it, because some of them are like $30, maybe even a little bit more. Usually 25, 30 bucks, 20 bucks, somewhere around there is usually a pretty good price if you guys can find them. We're huge fans of the new Hog Farmer Tactical Bassin Flex Rig. You guys have seen us talk about it. It's awesome. Get a hold of one of those, throw them. Don't be scared. You'll forget about the money the first 100 fish you catch during the fall on one of those. So just remember, guys, if you take anything away from this video, bait fish, bait fish, bait fish. Look for the bait fish on your sonar. Mimic the bait fish in your baits. Get out there, smash them. It's a great time to catch your PB, especially come late fall when they're still feeding and they've got all fat. Get out there, get it done, guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. Leave a like on the video. Comment down below. Give us your questions, comments, concerns. We'll answer them. We always do. Maybe make a video about it for you. Until next time, guys. Thank you very much. We'll see you.